Let's do a quick ZRemesher test with keep groups on and a target poly count of 3. So the topology didn't come out ideal and the flow is too bad for ZModeler to fix it. Because of the complexity of the shape, we can't resort to previous edge extrusion or bevel techniques we used in previous ZRemesher preparations. So instead, I'll take a snapshot by clicking Shift S and undo back to the Boolean mesh. So for this method, the first step is to Dynamesh the model at a high resolution with the blur set to 0. Since we have the poly groups all set up, we can use the Polish by Feature slider to clean up the edges. However, because of the high poly count, the Polish by Feature slider with a closed circle gives us undesirable results. Make that an open circle to really crank up the intensity. Closed circle on the polish sliders work a lot better on lower to mid poly models. The difference between closed and open circle of the Polish by Features is the closed circle tries to maintain the volume and form while polishing, while the open circle algorithm gives you more of an intensive polish and pays less attention to maintaining the volume. Let's run the same setting for ZRemesher as before and compare the results. It's not perfect, but definitely a better base to clean up with the ZModeler brush. Sometimes running a ZRemesher with same enabled after the first ZRemesher will give you a cleaner retopo. Since we are going to do a few more ZRemeshers, I will not need to do a final cleanup with the ZModeler brush at this moment. Let's click on Crease PG and turn on Dynamic. Then press Ctrl N to clear the canvas. Unmask the parts you want to slice through. The slice is adding new poly groups to help with the retopo. Now we can click on Same and run ZRemesher again. Select the front poly group and do a slice rectangle. Run another ZRemesher with same enabled. Also, a lot of the major issues with the back will also be resolved now. Select Mask Edge Loop Partial and then invert the mask by control-clicking on the canvas. Next, we want to mask the top half and slide the edge loop over. Let's Q-mesh the polygroup island and then clip it flat. Unmask the edge and move it back with the gizmo. We can shift-click to store the poly group, then alt-click to tag the polys. There are a couple ways you can go about straightening edges. You can unmask the edge and scale them, or use the clip curve. Another way is through the Z-Modeler brush. Select a line in the edge action and straight lines for the target. Control-click with the gizmo to unmask the red polygroup and Control-move it backwards to extrude. Go to Unmask Center and scale it in a little bit. Then you can unmask the model and crease the borders. Turn on Dynamic and continue to make final adjustments. Let's click on Crease PG. Then uncrease the edge loop and set up proper polygroups. Unmask the yellow polygroup and run a very light polish by features. Then mask the border of the inset and run a polish by features a few more times.